going to have a nice meditation for a purpose today, together.
And conversation.
And a conversation, obviously.
Yes. So, we were here sitting down about to have some tea, talking about the path that we are both on. And we figured, let us share it with the world so that everyone can be a part of the conversation, and hopefully it might help someone else who is on a similar path, a similar journey. Even if not similar, just help anyone just navigate in life. So, let's connect. Let's close our eyes and take a few breaths together.
Let's connect together and take a breath.
So right now, we're just bring your awareness to this moment, to the space around you. Bring your awareness to any sensation, any energy, any emotions that you may be currently feeling. But bring your awareness, and as you observe, it is important that we do our best, we offer ourselves compassion, and we do our best to refrain from these harsh criticism and judgment of oneself. So just observe without needing to try to fix anything in this moment, without claiming that anything is wrong. Let's take a deep breath in through the nose. We relax our shoulders. Check in for any tension in the body and slowly exhale. Exhale fully. And when you get empty, pause briefly. And again, deep breath in. Watch your abdomen expand outwards as you gently, steadily breathe in through the nose. Watch the breath to full. And when you get full, breathe in a little bit more and hold it briefly. Again, check in for any tension in the body, resistance to this moment, any tension in the mind. And slowly exhale and release it all. Just inviting in peace, inviting in clarity. And one more breath. Let's deep breath in, breathe in, watch it to full. And slowly exhale as you release anything that no longer serves you, that does not serve the who that you are. Inviting that release. Exhale fully. Beautiful. Now let's release the breath. Gently open our eyes. Just return to this space you're in.
So we decide to have a tea. We usually have a tea, sometimes meditate and connect for the projects we have in together. I think it's very important for all of us, for between us and the project as well. So that's a nice connection we create together, like a special moment for the tea, hugs, and connect with our essence, with our presence together.
So how was life been?
Yeah. ups and downs. Basically, it's emotionally very, very good. Emotionally, my heart.
Emotionally, it's been good.
Yeah,
Ups
my
and downs.
heart. No, my heart.
Your heart.
My heart is good.
Your heart is good.
It's much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's,
You know.
that's good.
Yeah. All the things, it's been like adjusting,
Okay.
movements.
Okay.
Service, it's different when you have to service, to be part of the service for someone else. You really have to take care of yourself for real. So the process of healing my heart, it was very intense. It was amazing. It was, at the moment, it was horrible, obviously, but what I received, the message, the message I received for whatever happened in my life, because the breakout, the previous breakout, it was amazing. It was, and between my ex and everything, it's been really good. So the lesson, it was received. It was connected. It was connected with, you know what? With my purpose. I received my last 2 relationships. It was the complete thing I need to connect with my path.
Do you wish to share more?
Yeah.
What's that thing that you received?
Yeah, that's the message I received.
Which is?
It was making me a complete person for this. I don't know how can I explain that. Numerology, I know much better, because I knew between me and those 2 souls, I was liberating a lot of things about my childhood, my interconnection, my self-love. It was everything connected, and obviously it was connected with my relationship with my dad and my father, my mom and my father. But the whole thing, it showed me the whole picture. This is exactly what you have to be. So my heart is feeling much better and understand about everything what happened.
So it sounds like you're in a place of acceptance.
Exactly. Okay. Because obviously when you are serving, you are continually having some doubts. Is this the right path I have to? This is really what I have to do for living? Yeah. Because you're growing with people and with yourself too. Yeah. Because each people coming to us bring you something to learn more about you.
100%.
So it's not only that, it's the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing involved. Professionally,
the entire life, all aspects of your life.
Yes, in all this aspect. So it's been different. It's been different. Obviously, I'm still fixing things to be by myself doing the whole thing, but my heart is in peace.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing, because and that's a beautiful thing about experiences. Experiences, when we allow ourselves to have those experiences and to let experiences flow through our awareness without resisting it too much, we get a beautiful gift from those experiences. We get to learn. We get the opportunity to learn, as you said, more deeply about ourselves, and that helps us to show up more whole, for even better to hold space for others, especially hold space for others who may now be going through similar things that we have been through, that you have been through, whatever that experience might have been. When we allow ourselves to go through it, and with the intention that I'm going to see what can I learn from this. It again, as I said, it helps us to step more into being, to better be able to hold space for someone going through breakup, going through life situations, and even when we come out of a situation, as you put it, you heal your heart, and when you look at the past, it's not feeling as heavy as it was before. It will allow us to step into purpose even more so, and on the other end of it, on the other side, it's like going through a tunnel. When you start and going through that, when you're approaching that tunnel, which meaning like you're foreseeing, you're seeing where they met. For example, let's take the example of a separation, right?
Yeah, and it's too far.
But you see the tunnel, and we might dread it, and we might try to do our best to hold on to a situation, hold on to whether that's a partner, whether that's a job, whether it's a living situation, whatever it may be. We try to hold on so tightly to, because we fear the unknown of what may be in that tunnel, so to speak. And then based on where we're at in life, then that fear feed into the thoughts that we have, and so most time people now not even reaching the tunnel as yet, but might see that, okay, this relationship might not be aligned anymore, this job might not be aligned anymore, whatever it may be. And so we try to cling on to something that really is not aligned, because we fear the unknown. And all the thoughts are telling us that, at least the thoughts that we are focusing on, because we don't want that thing to end. So the thoughts we are focusing on is giving us a view of the other end of the tunnel, and it may not be the most pleasurable perspective.
Totally. And that makes you fear.
And it makes us fear so much, that change is a change we fear. We fear the change because we get comfortable. We get comfortable with the known.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of time people will stay in a situation, a job, a relationship, whatever may be, may stay in that situation even though they know that it's not the best, it's not aligned anymore. And we don't have to dislike a person, we don't have to dislike a job for us to have the knowing that it's not what's aligned. Because something not being aligned doesn't mean that you have to dislike another. You're just not aligned.
Right.
That job is just not aligned anymore. So that fear starts there now when we entered, when that thing actually happened, that change actually started to happen. I know we're in that tunnel. That tunnel is dark. And we don't see we don't get the sense like there's any perceived ending to that tunnel, to this. Because that tunnel
when it's gonna end.
Yes, because that tunnel is that it's dreading. It's all the labels that society has. It's the depression. It's the anxiety. It's the sense of uncertainty. It's not comfortable, and as human beings, we like to seek comfort. And the subconscious, the brain, everything is always trying to get us into a space of comfort. So trying to find stories, trying to find things. And unfortunately, sometimes what the information that we are focusing on may not be the most positive while we're going through it. While we're going through it. But it's important for us to realize to remember that as we're going through these moments, I'm using the analogy of a tunnel, but as we're going through these moments of uncertainty, of unknown, we have to remember that we are not the experience.
We're not experienced.
We are not the experience, and life is meant for us to have experiences. But the thing is that we get into this sense of we like to be this concept. We like to feel like we being controlled. We like to control everything. So if something feels like it's not going the way we want it to, that causes us to unravel. You know, and it's a slippery slope because we end up digging ourselves deeper with negative stories and negative thoughts. And in every story that we have ever heard out there on the internet and social, from parents, from everything we have seen,
from the past,
everything we have seen now feed into make us even think that what we're thinking must be true, because we only focus on the negative outcome. Because for some reason, as human beings, we understand why, but we tend to always be, we oftentimes focus on, always be on the lookout. We're hyper vigilant to look out for what's going wrong, what may go wrong, because it's this sense of survival. It's a
sense of survival.
Yes, it's a sense of survival. Think about we're out there way back in the. Remember, we're out there when we didn't have these houses and things to protect us, and we're out there in the wild. Then we have to always be hyper vigilant, looking out for danger. But when we're looking out for danger, that means that's what we are focusing on.
It doesn't mean we have to have the experience.
No, but we
are focused on it.
Yeah, and we are focused on it. But when we're focused on it, we might believe now that we are that experience. We don't start to believe that we are these thoughts. We start to believe that these thoughts that are showing up are true. So we think I'm this thought, and then we're also thinking I'm these emotions that we might fluctuate through as we go through this. And again, it prevents us sometimes from seeing the clarity, or from seeing the clarity, or seeing the purpose of all the experiences that we may have been leaving behind, so to speak. Yeah. But again, the key thing is the awareness. Because I'm trying to touch on, because I know it's just knowing that, okay, I'm not this experience, and holding on to being positive and all that, and the awareness of this may not be enough to cause us to bring us that comfort that we need as we go through. And so a lot of times our energies fluctuate as we're going through these moments of these unknowns. Some people call it the void. So the thing now is, what do we do? How do we successfully go through these moments of uncertainty? It's like we're both chosen to live a life to be of service by choice. We choose to be of service. So
we'll be forced.
Yeah. When I say choose, meaning that we can get the pull.
I see you dark.
I'm good. We can go.
Turn the light. Continue.
We can go through the. Ouch. It's good. You can turn it on.
I was looking something softer.
Yeah.
But our faces look better. Yeah.
So as we go through, and I'm using the what we choose to be, or we choose to show up and being of service, choosing to show up daily, holding space for ourselves, holding space for others.
Do you have some doubts in your path?
And that's the tunnel. That's where I'm going with this. There's a tunnel, and as we go through, and we're in a world where we're in a world where people are struggling with the anxiety and the depression and the uncertainty and the confusion and feeling stuck, but still, that alone does not drive them to the point of let me seek that support. And so, and this is where we're at today. Things are changing and things have been changing. So the holistic services have been received, slowly becoming more accepted. And so when someone chooses to be in a space of offering holistic services, you offering numerology, and I'm offering self-discovery therapy and helping people to just know to navigate the unknowns in life. We ourselves are faced with these moments where we then have to use what we are offering and implement that for ourselves. Because if moments of doubts come in, those are first as just thoughts. A thought can always come in. A thought can always just arise. But when we allow that thought, that emotion to consume us,
control us,
to completely control us. So there's a fear. You're now in a fear about your business because, and we always going to the conversation about holistic therapy slowly being accepted. So it causes a slow trickle into people seeking this service. So the people offering holistic service might not get the foot traffic or the traffic or the right
vibration.
The right people are ready for the transformation to come in at a regular and on a steady pace, like say some other secular or some of the services out there. But it's for us, because again, thoughts may come, but do we allow those thoughts to pull us
back
into feeling that? Because you see it at times, people say, okay, they try to be of service, they try to do this, but it wasn't working, so they had to go back to their regular 9 to 5, or they had to go back and do that. And it is a challenge, and I understand why, because bills still has to be paid. Correct?
Right.
Bills still has to be paid. And there's no one simple solution, because it's easy to say. It's easy to say, all right, just stick with it and move. But again, people still have, if you have that fear, and when you look around, you're like, okay, this is what's coming in, and this is what you have to pay. This is you have, these are the bills stacking up. Now what do you do? And that's where for us we have to remember. We have to remember and draw on on the same things that we are offering to others. What advice would we give someone else showing up to us?
And I think it's double challenging, because we have to focus in ourselves, how we feel, in order to provide a better service to others. So you constantly healing yourself, observing yourself constantly, in order to have a better way or person to provide to others.
It's a every moment focus. It's a every moment focus of walking of being in alignment. That's why I took it to the place of saying that one of the main thing we have to do is ensure that what we are bringing, what we are quote unquote preaching, that we are embodying that. Because just that embodiment alone is powerful enough to help others that come into our space for them to shift, because it's not something, we're not speaking something that we are doing something that we read or someone. It's lived experience.
It's lived experience.
It's lived experience. It's lived experience, and that's why I said it when we're talking about using an example of, say, a breakup, or losing something, a relationship, a job, or having to have some sort of change, or we go through that and go through that tunnel of uncertainty and unknown and get to the other end. We now end up using that lived experience to guide others and hold space for others through that same. But it still brings us back to, so what do we do within that tunnel of uncertainty? When you are having your business, what do you do when you have those uncertainties? What do you do when you want to bring in more clients? What do you do? Yeah, what do you do?
To sell,
Yeah,
every situation. To every situation.
So, and a key thing is we have to ensure that we are relying on what do we preach to others, what do we guide others through, and make sure we guide ourselves through that. Because I see oftentimes it's easy to speak and sound and with that knowing, but the embodiment piece is missing. The embodiment piece is missing oftentimes because we give in to fear over trusting. We give in to fear over trusting that if what we are doing is truly in alignment. It's true. I was going to say true alignment with purpose, but purpose oftentimes makes it feel as if there is just this one thing that you must do, and if you don't, and that's the only thing. But
sometimes purpose coming later.
The purpose can come in at any point in time.
Sometimes you don't even know what is your purpose, but you know something pulled you to go that way, because that give you peace, or that give you something to complete you,
For when I look at, and this is all will all be tied back together. But when I look at purpose, and that's why again, when I say we have to make sure that whatever we guide others through, that we are walking that path ourselves. Because for me, a purpose is the purpose is simply, how do you choose to show up in this world? The purpose is, how do you choose to show up in life? And that could be career, that could be being a parent or not. But how do you choose to show up? And that's
to be yourself.
To be you. How do you truly show up? Want to show up? Like how do you want to travel this life?
Right. Purpose for me could be to live life in accordance. Whatever you have in your mind and your soul is an energy you cannot explain, pulled you to that way. It's always the ego telling you, or you're not enough, or you need more, you need to study more. That's because probably part of your ego it's pulled you back, and because you feel that nothing is, whatever you're doing is not enough to go there. It's obviously
and these are thoughts, and
it's a thought.
And these are thoughts are things that we experience while going through that void of the unknown. As we go through change, and because again our instinct and everything is is trying
or
to
programming.
program exactly is trying to say that
Programming
we must control it, and when we have an idea of how things should look, and when it's not looking like that, then we feed into the doubts, and we feed into the stories of doubts and the thoughts of doubt.
But you know, God put you things in your way. He never gonna put things in your way you cannot handle it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a period. But it's us who be programmed to feel this is too heavy, or I don't know how to do this, and create a mess in your mind because you think you're not enough, or you cannot do it because you don't know enough to do it. But if it's there, it's because you're ready for it.
And true, and that's the piece of going through this moments of unknown. It's having that understanding is very important. It's one of those. Having the understanding, the wisdom is a tool in itself to know that, okay, if something is here for me, it must be because I can handle it. Because I trusting that life brings us to where we need to be. Life unfolds and it takes us to where we need to be. That's why I said, that piece will happen. So when people say find your purpose, life will take us to where we need to. So it's like, but an important thing is, how do we choose and how do we show up? Who are you? Who are you, and how do you want to show up for life? Because when we get into these moments of uncertainty, our minds get cloudy and our judgment, and we don't have clarity. That's why it's important, even another tool in high emotional situations, as we go through these moments of change and unknown, high emotional situations, we have to always again start with the wisdom, the knowing that we are not that emotion. And we have to always ensure that we pause. When we find ourselves in a situation, we pause and we pause and we anchor ourselves in the present moment with the breath. And we breathe. Because that pause is a sacred pause that puts some space between us and the reacting that we would normally do. Because a reacting might cause us, okay, let me run away from this challenge or this moment to go back to what feels safe. Mm-hmm. To go back to what feels safe. So when you find a moment, when you pause and you breathe, and you practice non-identification with the emotion. Okay. You like, I am not the emotion. Exactly. I'm not this. I am the observer observing. So when you pause and you allow yourself to just breathe and be with, and you observe. You observe the energy. Any emotion is an energy.
Yeah, totally.
So you observe that energy. And the reason why you're observing it, because now you've created some space between you and your normal reacting. Because oftentimes people get something.
That's a huge change.
Yes, something triggers you from the outside and you immediately react. And oftentimes this reaction is based on some unconscious patterns. Okay. Unconscious patterns are just automated unconscious ways in which we might think, we may speak, we may do certain things, or behaviors, actions, and oftentimes these patterns get these default behaviors get implemented by us, get used by us. We resort to them before we even realize what's going on, before we even think what's going on. So it's important for us to make sure that we pause, choose these moments. As we go through, again, uncertainty, we pause, we breathe, because we need to use the breath. And always will go back to breathing. And you take as much breath as you need, because at the same time, while it's creating some space between us and the reaction, it's also helping us to regulate our nervous system. Exactly. Because for a lot of us, the issue that we're having is that our nervous system...
start moving.
Our nervous system has been shot. We don't know how to handle... And so the simplest of things can cause us to... can cause us to break down.
Right,
totally. Can cause us to break down. And And when we break down, we're feeding into because we're in that mode. Then the thoughts now go into everything that we might have heard and social, from kids to now that supports that. We now will believe that, because everything you hear. That's why it's important for us to be mindful of what we consume, not just what we eat, but what we consume, what we listen to, all of that, what we watch, because everything stucks. And sometimes we don't realize that it's there, but it might be supporting stories of in the subconscious. And then now you're going through a situation and something, now you realize a memory, something you think you heard from someone that you follow on social comes back up, and now you're like, oh, that person must be true then, and whatever you're going through now must be true, because here's someone who have said it, and here you now feeding into that, because you're now down into that in that moment. You've identified with emotion, so you think you're that. So everything now is supporting that. And the subconscious, the brain, everything as well is saying, the mind is trying to prove you correct, that yes. So it's going to bring all sort of stuff that you have held on to support what you're going through.
And the ball starts.
And then that perpetuates and create more thoughts of the same thing. And if it creates more thoughts, then the next thing you realize, you're stuck in a mood. You're stuck in a mood.
Right.
You're in a mood right now, and the longer you stay, and now when you're in that mood, now more thoughts to support that mood. More thoughts, more emotions, more feelings support this. So now everything's gonna tell you that, oh, this must be true. I can't do this. Let me run to the hills. Let me go back to whatever we feel safe. And then you stay in that mood long enough, what's going to happen? It's just going to become that you look like your character. It's going to become who you are. Because
it's a habit.
Because a habit.
It's normal. It's something is normal.
Yes, and it's all plays out subconscious. So now these things are now going to be ways in which you're showing up subconsciously. So to everyone else, that's who you now are. Even though you want them to see you as something else, but the way you're showing up is not in the way that you want them to perceive you. You're showing up in that mood, that character, based on a thought or some fear that started some days ago, some months ago, some years ago. So it's, again, going back to it. So it's important as we go through these high intense emotional moments, when we're in this tunnel of this uncertainties, this void of this unknown, that we use this tool to pause, to breathe, regulating your nervous system, and you observe the energy. While you observe the energy, you also ensure that you you establish the non-identification with the emotion, and very importantly, is part of the
That's a nice tip.
part of our framework that I walk clients through.
Sometimes I forgot.
Yeah, it's part of but an important piece though that people don't talk about, that I include in my framework that I walk people through, and I'm helping people go through emotional situations and to help regulate the nervous system. It's a framework I call POLL, P-O-L-L. It's like take a poll of yourself. Take a poll of take a poll of yourself before you respond. Because you do have the right to respond. So we've called the first part of the poll, because poll is spelled P-O-L-L. So the P, to pause. That's where you pause and you breathe. Okay. The O is to observe.
That's the tip.
That's
P-O-L-L.
That's what the framework I've created. I've created that framework, and that's what I walk clients through.
I see that. Okay.
So the O is for observe. You observe the energy. We don't. Oftentimes we quickly love to say, I am angry, I am anxious.
You're just creating the person.
Exactly. We're saying that our entire state is that. Because we have identified with the emotion. And so now everything that comes our way, we're going to be frustrated, we're going to be presenting based on that energy that we have now identification that we have now claimed that we are. But when we practice now the O, to observe, the L is to let go of the identification. Let go of the identification with Let go of the identification with the emotion. No, I'm not saying, because it's very important, I'm not saying suppressing, because we don't suppress, and emotional regulation is not suppressing. It is I'm saying let go of the identification, thinking that you're the emotion. Feel as much as you want to feel. Feel, observe.
Like something else is there, separate of me.
Separate of you. And that's the breath and all that, and the observing helps you to see that separation, because this isn't, because when you observe, you get to you will practice this and you'll see. When you observe, you'll get to see that, oh, there's me and there's me looking at the energy of
The
whatever.
observing, the observing, the observer.
Yes, this is whether it's heat in the body, whether it's sensations, whether it's whatever it is that we release that I am that thing. Instead of saying I am anxious or I'm depressed or I am anger, we can even just change that language, because it's important for us to watch our language that we speak. So important for us that we say now, we can just recognize that, okay, there's an energy of anger. And I'm using these words because these are labels we have created.
Exactly.
Labels that we didn't need to create in the first place, because if we had practiced this approach from day zero, from the beginning of time, but as human beings, we like to use the logical mind to make. We want to make sense.
To make sense.
Yes,
right.
but the problem is when you slap a label on something, we stop learning.
And that's it.
That's why, as you see, we live in a society where we diagnose ourselves. We run to the doctor and we diagnose ourselves, and then that's it. We're like, oh, I'm ADHD. I'm A, B, C, D, F, G.
Right.
And then that's it, and we don't do nothing to see that. Oh, whatever it is that we are feeling is bringing a message to you, which brings me to the last L of Paul,
okay.
which is an important piece that I've seen that is missing from many emotional regulation out there. That's why when I looked at it and I checked in with my own self and practice over the years, that's why I came up with the framework of Paul yourself. That last L is most important, is to see what can I learn about myself.
I like that.
Because the thing about it is that
that's a nice sequences.
100%. And when you do
the exercise,
and you get into the response, but you realize we have created gaps, and it seems this long because we are speaking on it. But as you practice it, it becomes tick tick.
Right.
After a while,
and people need, the human being need to have ABC to learn something, to project something, to create something, how to create it, and sometimes people need those steps.
Yes, and I put it together. Because I again, as I walk people through self-discovery, which is literally helping people go through the state of unveiling oneself from the program, from the past, from the identification with everything that has unfolded in our life, and just return to that state of authenticity. We were showing up. We were asking ourselves the question, like I said in the beginning, how am I showing up in this world? This is an important question that most of us have not asked. How am I showing up in this world? So now, when I say
a lot of those energies, we always communicate, or we always trying to figure it out. What is this, or how I are acting like that? And a lot of those energies coming from our numbers too. When you know a little bit about yourself and how I react, how we be programmed, sometimes it's better to look at it. Oh, that's why I feel so stuck, because I have this programming in one, and one has to be something to go forward, not to be stuck. You know what I'm saying?
And that's and that's where like a collaboration, even like work, like say between what you offer with say offer here's numerology that gives you a glimpse into yourself, which people can learn from those showing up in life. But it's a beautiful tool, numerology. You can say, okay, here, let me get a look, a view on what do my numbers say about me. I know you take that now and you say you come to a person like me and say, let's work through this, because you're not stuck. You're not, for me, the person is not stuck in anything. It shows you here's what may be unfolding based on when you were born, but you're not stuck in it. You're just that you were born on that day, that time, whatever, right? But you have the power. Because my work is to empower people to say, you have the power to be anything you desire you need to be, because you are whole. And what that means for me is that you can be anything you choose to be. It's just a matter of, okay, what's the task, what's the moment required of me? Let me bring that forward,
yeah,
and
right.
be that.
Exactly.
Oh, over here, let me breathe that. So I can be anything. Just a matter of I just need to spend time and go in and I shift into what I need to be. I can be anything. So
that's the amazing part.
Yeah. So again, the L, which is see what you can learn, because again, remember, something external to you triggered you.
External,
something,
right.
but not all time. Sometimes it's not even just external. Sometimes it's for winter, but a lot of times it's external. But the reason I'm saying that though is to bring to the point that yes, something may have triggered you from externally, but the truth of the thing is, instead of pointing fingers to everyone and saying, "Look what you did to me," or "Do you did this to me," it's the real again. You pause and you do all of this, and you say what, and you say, okay. Yes, something may have triggered me externally, but whatever I'm going through right now, it arises within me.
What kind of emotion is rising?
Yes,
right.
Something arises. Something that if an emotion or anything is rising within me, it's within me. Something externally triggered it, so it's not for me to point to another, because that's a distraction.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost like a controlled as well. Just say you need to be a certain way for me to be okay, but on which we need to all literally just stop that. That's just, you see that in this thing called love, where people's view of love, where like you need to be this way for me to love you or for you to be loved.
Because a lot of people learn that way.
I 100%.
These things is because he made me, or is your fault, or people is looking out there the answers, but the answers is not there. It's here.
Yes,
what make reactions on it?
Exactly, and that's why the key thing is, and the compassion is there, because I embody that, and as I speak like this, I don't understand, and I said we have learned these things, we have been conditioned through our life, but that's what we have to guide people through, to say pause and hold on. Yes, something may have triggered you out externally, but whatever is going on, turn your focus away from them towards oneself and say, what is this thing you're bringing me? It is an emotion right here. It's a messenger. That emotion is bringing you something so you can learn about yourself. And when you take a poll of yourself, when you pause and you breathe and you observe and you let go of the identification with it, because that way it creates clarity now. And with that, letting the non-identification with the emotion, you get a chance to, when you practice it, you get a chance to then see that I can choose differently. I can choose, and now you
pause,
yes, now and the choose different is going to come after we finish taking the poll of ourselves, because now we are looking at what can I learn about me, and now we get to respond. And that in that response we get to choose. Normally
it's a practice. It's a practice.
It's a practice. But when you decide, as I said, the important question is this in self-discovery: who do I want? How do I want to show up in this world? Because when you choose that, and not just this half-ass, when you sometimes be like, yeah, maybe, not a yes, that sounds like a maybe. One done with a conviction. This is inevitable. This is how I will show up, no matter what. No matter if I'm in that job over there, no matter if I'm in that relationship, no matter if I'm in that country, this is just who I am. Me and the who I am, for me, the key things is just those essence. How do you show up? Are you truly showing up as kindness? Are you truly showing up as love? Are you truly showing up as compassion? Because all those will help you to know that when you pause and realize, okay, I did not resort to some default pattern or reaction, or and now you get that clarity that you get because you create that separation between you and the emotion and you and that reaction as well. You get to choose, and you get to choose from that place of who did I say I am? Because the key thing when people say, come to me and say, how do I change? I said, just live. And the reason why it sounds simple, but I said just live. Why? Because when you decide, how do I want to show up in this life? then it's from that point, what you need is the embodiment. And the embodiment comes from consistency. And how do you get consistency? By in every single moment, situation that's unfolding, no matter what it is, you choose your responses that are aligned with the who you say you are.
Okay. The new you.
The who you say you are,
and things start moving around.
And things and you even going through those tunnel and the uncertainty of a job, of all that we started with talking about before, you will get that clarity. You get that clarity.
Mm-hmm.
You get that clarity, and sometimes that clarity may be, because what I see, even in this holistic space, everyone out there is still working from the ego, from the I create this, not realizing that sometimes maybe we can take the load off each other, but let's work together. Because if you look at it, many people they want to offer the same thing, but everyone wants to say, I do, so let me only work on this. When it's no, sometimes maybe a collaboration is what's best. That way you pull ideas together and you show up. You can show up more. You can show up more. You can help others through situation or through moments of you fluctuate, because you offer yourself compassion as well. The same thing. At some moments you might, if life gets too heavy, you feel like you've resorted, you've backtracked or taken 5 steps back. You give yourself compassion in those moments, and sometimes it helps. Again, there's many ways for us in this holistic space that we can all come together and work together to make and provide and this is how we end up even creating your own system, because at the end of the day it's still going to be a system of sorts. We end up with a system that works for everyone, because my motto is this: in life everyone should thrive. Everyone should be able to see. Everyone's basic needs should be taken care of. It's almost a crime to see how we're living today, where people have to worry, because the main worries people have somewhere to stay, because that provides us also safety. So home, shelter, food, clean water, health. People, food, water, So if you cover those three things, to cover those main things at a everyone get those things covered, you realize the amount, the level of stress that will be taken off.
Totally.
And the thing is that when you release that stress, it allows people to show up with one of the most beautiful things of our human nature that helps us, that we have to help us, is our creativity. But it's difficult for us to be creative when we're stuck in this state of survival. It's
that's the mayor of the people.
Yes, it's challenging.
It's part of the human being. But it's another part of the human being is awakening to create another kind of world. That more easier, more
people get supportive, more understanding, more compassionate, more loving.
More loving.
You're
exactly.
more forgiving.
More forgiving. More wellness, right? That's the right word.
So when you go through and you take a poll of yourself, and I'm giving this tool, because when you're going through uncertainty, again, we like to have an idea of the outcome. And oftentimes we may not know the idea, because we like to have an idea of the outcomes, that's what causes us to sometimes feel like we need to strong arm others to stay with us, strong arm a job to be a certain way, strong arm results, and then we end up performing. We end up performing in the things we do, and we end up taking shortcuts, or we end up becoming. That's why I see with the sales in the world, it's very ads, it's very salesy, it's very pushy, very manipulative, it's very persuasive. And if we are showing up doing the same thing, it's from that same space, of those fear and that control.
It feels different.
And that control, we need to release, and again, when we talk about, because those emotional reaction, that's just even one aspect of the bigger thing that we all need to focus on, which I mentioned a few times, which is what are our patterns? what are our patterns, because those are things as well that will cause us, as we go through these moments of unknown, to feel as if we are stuck. Because we and sometimes you hear people say, what time is it, by the way?
It's 7.
Okay, I have a guided meditation that I need to jump on. But I also wanted to say about I wanted to say this final thing about the patterns that, you know, even another time when we say stuff like, oh, it's human nature, or it's just always been, we have to be very careful with that. Why? Because that in itself is just an unconscious pattern playing out.
Mm-hmm.
It's an unconscious pattern playing out. But when it comes to pattern, you know, it's, and I'll have to jump into another, but there's another. I spend a lot of time creating frameworks that I need to, because I want to always give my clients tools, because I empower people. I don't want to be that therapist, that guide, that counselor, whatever type you want to use, that always want to people to depend on me. I want to empower people to realize that they have the tools to then go out there and live. To go out there and be able to handle life as life come at them.
But that was amazing today. You have some people get connected and say hi. Thank you guys. It's been amazing.
Yeah. So I have to jump on a meditation.
You wanna close?
Yes.
Thank you for watching, and be connected with this.
Yes. So it was a pleasure. Let's do this again.
I like it. We should do it more frequently.
Yeah, because there's more to
You gave me a nice tip today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
There's more. It's great. It's a deeper than a tip. It's something that I sit down with and I create and I look and I say, and for me, I create from lived experience. I create from lived experience because a key thing, we go to emotion and a lot of, you see a lot of therapists and books out there say just identify emotion, and it stops there. But it's like, for me, it's important to the non-identification with the emotion, and to ensure
part of the key,
and ensure that we are observing. That's another part of the key: observing the emotion, the energy of the whatever is present, and also what can I learn about me.
You hear that, right? Now he's gonna drink his tea. That's happening all the time. Look my tea. Look his tea. He always does that. Bye guys. Thank you.